everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the District. I am Commissioner Erick Allen, Commissioner for District 2 in Cobb County. And today I've got two very, very special guests. A couple of days ago, we were able to do a ribbon cutting of a mural in the city of Marietta, really highlighting childhood literacy, reading programs, and all the work that we have to do to continue to make sure that our children are connected to community, connected to reading, and have a passion for learning lifelong. Two people with me here today is Councilman Carlyle Kent from City of Marietta. Hello. And Irene Barton, who is the Executive Director of Cobb Collaborative. Correct. Thank you guys for both being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so I'll start with you, Irene. Kind of tell us a little bit about how this project came to be and the importance of it for Cobb County.
Mm-hmm. So the Cobb Collaborative launched our early learning initiative in 2021. Nothing was going on then, right? Using a framework that comes out of the Achievement Gap Initiative at Harvard University called the Basics. And it's 5 simple things that parents and primary caregivers and really anyone who is child-facing can do to build social, emotional, and cognitive skills using everyday moments with intentionality. I think so many times, many of us, like, we're distracted by that computer in our hands, right? And you know, you're waiting for dinner in a restaurant, you're grocery shopping, and it's like, well, here, let me just give this, and you know, there's a fun game. And you know what? Those sorts of things have a time and a place, absolutely. But nothing can take the place of that one-on-one human interaction. That's what really builds the reading brain. So you start in 2021, and we have grown the program, really honing in on these 5 basic principles and engaging parents, caregivers, and again, anyone who is child-facing. And there are basics communities all across the country, so we've been able to learn best practices and share ideas and things like that. We started some, what in the nonprofit sector we call environment projects. We had one last year at Henry Park in Marietta with our Basics Preschool Nature Trail. And this gentleman has been walking alongside us for the last several years, yes. Really prioritizing literacy, childhood literacy, positive early childhood experiences. And so out of just conversations and I think knowing kind of your vision for your ward, the idea of a mural came about. And so do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, so what was your involvement?
She's done such an excellent job of explaining.
You're too kind.
You're meant for this type of explaining how the basics work. I think it's phenomenal. But I want to back up a little bit because the reason I've gotten so passionate about it is if you look at, I'm told that 60% of the kids in the state of Georgia going to the 4th grade can't read on a 3rd grade level. Correct. And that's just unacceptable in today's time and today's school systems. We have to do a better job. And I can say that the Marietta City Schools, they are doing a better job. Their numbers are lower. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I've heard somewhere in the 30%. But that's still unacceptable. Any child left behind is a child that's deemed for a lifestyle that's not what we would want them to have. And even though it may not be my child, I care about it. I care about my community. I care about the city of Marietta and Cobb County. And so I have always been involved in some sort of mentoring program. And after I got elected, I was asked to do some mentoring at Woods Wilkins. And it's a great program, but I just felt I wasn't getting anywhere. And my prayer was, God, how can I reach more children? And I got involved with Irene, and we started to work together. I give out 50 reading books a month that they provide that are based on Emily Ledbeck's Early Learning Center learning process, the books that they select. And I give 20 of them to the Hugh Grogan Center after school program, 20 to Zion Academy. And then I give out 10 I keep them in my car. I go to the park and I see parents. My wife said that somebody's going to say that I'm harassing parents with their children, but I find it amazing when you have a conversation with a young parent and ask them about their children's learning process, that they're just not in tune to that. And 80% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 3 years old. So that was my answer to my prayer, that we can impact more people by catching them at an early age than trying to get them later in school and try to get them caught up. So that's my goal. I also, we were talking about something that we could do in our ward. And my father was in politics on the city council and mayor of the town I grew up in. I have this list of accomplishments. So when I got elected, I said, Lord, I don't want to fill a space. I want to make a difference in the space that I fill. And that's kind of where we kind of went down that path. What can we do? I'm friends with the owner of the building that we put the mural on. And actually, he's my barber. And so we had a conversation in the barbershop.
Barbershop. It always starts in the barbershop.
Always starts in the barbershop. And he said that he would definitely be, would allow us to do that. So that's the kind of how it came about, but it's reaching more people. And I've gotten comments from parents, emails saying, how can I get involved? What can we do next? We're going to take a breather because this is an election season and get behind that, and then next year start to look for other ways that we can impact kids with using murals around the city of Marietta.
Yeah, and one of the things that struck me is when you and I first met, we sat down over coffee and started talking about this program. I'm not a young parent, but I have a fourth grader. And I know firsthand how important it is at that critical area. And with a current fourth grader, I mean, she started kindergarten on Zoom during COVID. And so there were a lot of things stacked against what we see as now our current third, fourth, fifth graders because of just the times that they were coming of that reading age. So it was really easy for me to get behind and support what you guys were doing, and I was glad that the county was supportive, and we were able to present a check for $10,000 to help with the mural and the continued programming. So what's next, though? You talked about kind of taking a breather, but we're not going to take a breather. Irene's going to keep going, but kind of tell us more about the programming and how people can get connected to the services.
Well, the best thing I'll offer is to direct people to our website, thebasicscobbcounty.org, and there we have a calendar of all of our events. So I'll back up to our environment project, the mural. So there's a dedication plaque on there with a QR code that will also send folks straight to our website. And there's several things that people can do. And again, remember that this is not just for parents of young children. If you keep children at your faith community on Saturdays or Sundays, if you work in public health, healthcare, no matter your role, as Mr. Kent said, we all care about children, right? Even if they are related to us by blood or they're the family or community we choose. People can join us in person at events across Cobb County at our interactive playground paloozas, we call them, where we are bringing the 5 basic principles to life with just gentle reminders about, again, using those everyday moments with intentionality. You're shopping in the grocery store? Oh my gosh, have you looked at the fruits and vegetables? Think about the colors and the shapes and all the things that you can just interact with your child. There is a free text messaging service that parents and caregivers can sign up for, and it's available in English, Spanish, and Portuguese because we do want to be reflective of the community, of the residents that live in our community. And again, this is available for all residents of Cobb County with young children, and it'll send a couple of prompts each week about something that a caregiver can do with a child. Because sometimes you just run out of ideas, right? So a little talking point or a little activity that does not require any purchase of anything expensive. It's usually using something around your house or in your neighborhood or something like that. And then another text will send an local activity idea. So maybe there's a health fair going on that weekend, or a taste of Marietta, or a taste of Smyrna, or the Hispanic Heritage Festival. Those sorts of things where there are opportunities for families to bring their children into community and interact with them. We host quarterly strategy team meetings, we call that, and Mr. Kent is a regular attendee at those, where we're bringing together those who are serving families as well as family members themselves to talk about how we can advance this strategy. How can we let more people know? It is so great that we are reaching so many people. And Commissioner, we had nearly 2,900 people attend our Playground Paloozas last year. That's pretty remarkable growth. And we hold those at libraries. Folks will see when they visit the website. Libraries, parks, early education centers, a variety of things. But what keeps me up at night is the families that we are not reaching who probably need it the most, who may have lower knowledge around the importance of early childhood development and all that magic that happens in the first 3 years of life. And if you'll allow me, I just want to pick up on something that Mr. Kent mentioned about that third grade reading proficiency. So there's sort of a direct correlation between kindergarten readiness, third grade reading proficiency, and on-time high school graduation. And that's what allows our young people to live a life of self-determination, which is what Mr. Kent was mentioning. So lots of ways to get involved, both from a digital standpoint as well as in person, just in your family, in community, in other settings.
Yeah, and the QR code, I would encourage everyone to share it.
Yes.
Share the information about the Basics program with as many people in your community, your church, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts,
Yes.
softball, baseball, basketball, all the leagues, because the more that we understand that it does take a village, then we can have a stronger, better, more vibrant Cobb County. Now, the last thing I want to do before we end is just kind of give a shout out to the muralist. It is a very impressive. I know the community helped with some of the paint by number portions, and then the muralist
Yes.
kind of finish it up, and we're going to show it as we talk. But tell us how you selected, either one of you, how you selected the muralist, and just the process of it coming to being what it is today.
Yeah, I'm going to
Well,
let Mr. Kent start
Yes,
on that
she's
one.
I originally met her as a former client of mine in real estate, and I was impressed with her work, and I was engaging with her how can we get her involved within the city of Marietta. And she was very welcoming. She's a very warm-hearted person,
Yes.
and she just radiantly, I guess, attached to us and worked very well. She not only just takes a concept and paints it on the wall, she wants to get the community involved. And so we had a meeting at the Hugh Grogan Center, and there were several adults there. These were adults, and there was brainstorming. So we had to sit down and draw something, cut out pictures, put it together, and then give it to her so she could come up with a creative design idea. And then we had the community. I sent out messages to my neighbors and others, and Irene sent out some to her constituents as well, to invite them to come out and be a part of the community. That way, they're more likely to share it if they had a hand in actually creating it. Yeah. So it's been wonderful working with her, and I'm looking forward that we can do some future work. And we vetted her to the city has several murals, and I sent her work to some of the city's staff, and they said if you guys are okay with the price, that she would be an excellent artist for this particular project too.
And she really was.
Yeah.
I mean, after we had that planning session, which was kind of fun, we got to act like kindergartners, cutting out pictures and markers and glue sticks and all of that. I was like, how in the world is all of that, what I would call kind of word vomit and pictures, going to turn into something? And even the initial sketches, which are close to the final product, I was just blown away when we opened up that email and started seeing those. So it's just, it's been a really fun process. And I think you experienced the same thing. People would text me or send me an email, drove by the mural, it's looking great, can't wait for the final unveiling.
And so she took this concept, and that's why you see the 5 different steps, the basic concepts, and came up with a design that just
really brings it to life.
Brings it to life, and actually what we were thinking we wanted. So that's the magic part of it. And then my most I guess recent comment was from a neighbor walking by with her dog and kids, and she saw the mural and came back and sent me an email saying that how can she get involved? Her and her husband want to help fund a future project. So it just shows me that, you know, the community loves art for one, and they love our interests in their child's education and development.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for the work that you do. Look forward to partnering with you many more times on this initiative and others. And you guys, as Irene said, can find more information at the website, also by scanning the QR code. And please share the information with anyone in your community who, as has been said, has young children or cares for young children, to make sure that we can do our part in being that village that's going to help all of our Cobb County students become the best, become what they can be, and have their own self-determination as they go through life. So thank you guys both for joining us, and we will see all of you next time on the next episode of Inside the District.